Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me going around my house showing you all of the changes I've made and sharing with you some of the things I've brought into my house that have just brought me a lot of joy in my day-to-day. I'm a huge believer in romanticizing your life in terms of making the mundane beautiful, making the everyday beautiful, finding reasons to love being at home. I'm such a homebody. I love being at home. I love just spending time here with my family and just with myself and doing my own thing. And I don't actually want to leave when I get vacation from work or when I get time off or when I get days off. The last thing I want to do is hop on a plane and fly away because I have made my home like a little haven for myself, a place that I love to be in. Filled it with things that have inspired nostalgia in me and made me feel a little closer to my grandma. Just like so many things have changed about me, my life, the trajectory of my life, the path that I'm on, the person I am. I have a lot more videos coming that I will share with you guys, but today, because the house is nice and clean and tidy and everything looked so pretty and nobody's home but me right now and the dog, I thought this was the perfect day to take you around and show you some things in my house. So I hope you'll enjoy seeing my antique, vintage, thrifted things, all the changes I've made, and just like a nice little sit down and chat video. And I'm also sharing a little bit of insight with you guys, kind of my mentality when it comes to makeup or clothing or possessions and things like that, and things like that. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you're not already subscribed, I would love if you consider doing so. And you can also feel free to follow me on Instagram if you like, where I kind of just use it as a space to share things that I'm inspired to share, things that I find beautiful that I hope will be inspiring or beautiful to other people, and build a nice little community of like-minded people who share similar values and enjoy similar things. It's my little sort of creative outlet over there. So with that out of the way, let's get started in today's video. All right, let me start off with the bathroom because it's pretty simple and there's not a lot to talk about in here and I don't want to forget it. The bathroom is probably the least remarkable part of my house. And I've just kind of removed some stuff and simplified some things. So first of all, you will see it's very, very basic. There's actually no picture on the wall because the picture that was on the wall I took and put downstairs on the piano, and I just haven't replaced it with anything yet. So yeah, I just haven't found the right picture for there. In regards to the vanity, I have changed a couple things with the vanity. I'm just going to shut the door so we have better lighting. So I pretty much just simplified my skincare routine. I realized I needed to simplify my skincare routine for a few different reasons. Financially, I just couldn't justify spending tons of money on certain creams anymore. I also kind of started using vintage creams that reminded me of my grandmother and my childhood, like Nivea, Pond's, and I have just a very basic skincare routine. I also have very sensitive skin and I haven't been tolerating a lot of fragrance and chemicals and stuff like that. So I didn't really need like this fancy tray anymore to harbor all of my skincare. So I put it all in here. Let's give you a little look of what's in here real quick. I just put my face wash, my creams. I still do have my different. I've got my vitamin C. I've got some Aquaphor healing ointment. And then this is just Q-tips. This is just a really cute little jar that I thrifted for Q-tips. We've got our dental floss, things like that, spare razors, deodorant, toothpaste, micellar water. So very, very basic, but everything that I need fits in there. And I just wanted to free up the counter, and I didn't feel the need to display and sort of glorify my skincare routine anymore. There's been a lot of things in my life that I've been moving away from making super, super important and focal points of my life. I've kind of just quit doing that. More on that in another video. So yeah, this is the simplified vanity. A lot of these things are thrifted. So those flowers I've had for years and years and years. They're from HomeSense. This is just a bar of Dove soap, and this is actually a thrifted soap holder. This is from Value Village. This is the Embryolisse body lotion, which I'm actually kind of tired of. It's not super hydrating, but I'm trying to use it up and then I'll put something better, get something better. This is our toothbrush holder. I did have an electric toothbrush and I decided not to use it anymore because that's another thing. I'm kind of trying to live more of an analog lifestyle and go back to simpler things. And part of that is not wanting to charge everything. I don't like having to charge a clock. I don't like having to charge a watch. I don't like having to charge a toothbrush. There's so many things in our lives that need to be charged for us to have, or like even worse, Bluetooth or, you know, an internet connection just to use your toothbrush. Like, I don't want that. I want something simple. And so I went back to good old fashioned normal toothbrushes. These are actually both my toothbrushes, and I actually have very sensitive gums, so I've had to try a couple different. My retainers are soaking, and that's pretty much it. So that's the Simplified bathroom vanity. I didn't intend to make it simple. I just like kind of decided to, this is kind of a mental shift that I've had, is to decorate with stuff that I already use and let my normal day-to-day stuff serve as decor. And not only is it perfect and fitting and it just works, but it's also a very calming, nostalgic way to decorate your house when the things that are in your house are not there because you just bought a whole bunch of meaningless, worthless, mass-produced decor and you stuck it in your house. All the things that are decorated or that are decorating your counters are there because they are part of you. There's something that speaks to what you value. You use it, it fits you in your lifestyle, and it's really nice that way. So that's that. These are our towels, little toilet paper holder, and then the shower. Forgive me, I have not cleaned the shower yet today. I haven't done my Sunday cleaning, but oh, there's another razor there that I have to do something with. But I just put a new razor in here for myself. It's just like the Venus one. And then my daughter's, she doesn't care what razor she uses. She can use mine too. I don't mind sharing with her, but there's two there. And then this is like, we've got a lot of shampoo and conditioner because we have a lot of people. Well, there's 3 people and a dog. One thing that I have done as well, I've quit investing in expensive shampoos and conditioners. I've quit investing in crazy expensive Sephora products like Way and stuff like that because I just don't think they're necessary. And I've gone back to using very simple, very basic, affordable shampoos and conditioners. And you know what? I feel great. My hair is soft and shiny and healthy, and it's perfectly fine. So I've got Pantene Pro V, which everybody likes. The Dove, this is actually my favorite body wash, you guys. If you're looking for a really good body wash, I really recommend this one. But it's kind of like a soft, subtle soap, and it's the Dove Dryness Repair. I'm not here trying to promote products, so I'm not going to put a lot of emphasis on the products that I have. But I just really like that that body wash. And then we've got the L'Oreal. My boyfriend actually likes these ones. And then this is my boyfriend's body wash. And then we've got puppy shampoo because Ivar sometimes gets himself into a mess and then he needs a little shower. And yeah, that's about it for the shower. So super basic. I've also kind of decluttered and simplified underneath the sink. My daughter likes to have baths and light candles, so all of her candles are there. That's her face wash and stuff. And then we've got our hairsprays and stuff, and a mouthwash that everybody likes, and rubbing alcohol. And that is about it. And then this wicker basket. This one's actually from Dollar Store. I feel bad that I got it from Dollar Store, but my other basket was really not very nice. And as much as I'm trying to be more frugal and purchase more secondhand and stuff, I just really wanted a nice kind of wicker style basket. This here is some donations. I have been decluttering because one thing that happened was after I kind of started getting into antiques and vintage stuff, I went a little bit crazy, as I think sometimes people do when they first get a new hobby, and I accidentally bought too many blankets, and I don't think I'm going to use like all the blankets that I have. Like, I'm trying to reduce the burden of stuff that I have on myself, the burden of having to store, the burden of having to wash, the burden of having to move it when we move. I just wanted to lighten my load a little bit. And when you remove things from your environment, it allows you to focus on more important things. And so I was able to let go of these things, and I'm going to donate them to the secondhand store. There's some really beautiful things here, and they may as well sell them and make some money. And also my gym bag. Can you believe that I'm selling my gym bag? I was such a diehard gym goer, as people would say, and I haven't been to the gym now at all in like 3 months, and I feel better than ever, physically, mentally, everything. So anyway, I don't have a need for my gym bag, and I'm also, there's like a barbell thing in here and some gym gloves, and I'm just gonna donate those as well to a secondhand store, and hopefully somebody can make use of them. So let me take you through my closet a little bit. There's been a lot of changes to my closet, and I'm smiling as I talk about this because I'm so happy with how it is now. I've had a lot of changes with regards to my style, my fashion, what I like to wear, where I source my clothing from, and just like how I feel about fashion in general. in the last year and a half. You guys might recall last summer I started wearing primarily dresses during the daytime, and I've realized that wearing a dress every single day isn't super realistic for me, but still, if I'm going anywhere of note, like anywhere where I want to feel good about myself, not just to get groceries, not just to the dog park, but if I'm going like for coffee or to go shopping for the day or to church, a work meeting or an education day, any day where I don't just want to be wearing like, sweatpants kind of thing, I will wear a dress or a skirt and a sweater. That's what I have found that I really like. So my wardrobe is made mostly up of that stuff. I have really gotten away, as you can see, from an all neutral wardrobe. Looking back, I can't imagine going back to that. It's funny how much a person can change in a short period of time, in a year and a half or 2 years, because this is a drastic difference from how my closet looked, and it's definitely not minimalist at all, and I'm not striving to be minimalist either. I'm striving to be intentional, basically. So I don't really know where to begin. So much has happened here. I don't want to spend all day on the closet, but I have rearranged it, obviously. Before this, all the clothes was on one side, and then the shelf that I have here with the shoes and the perfumes and the jewelry was on this side, and it kind of was like shoved in the corner. It was hard to get things. I couldn't really see things. So I decided to split the clothes in two and put the shelf in the middle, and I think that that is so much nicer. And what I did to make it look nice was I faced all of these garments facing out this way, and all of these garments are facing out this way, so that it looks a little bit more like it's meant to be that way, and it looks really pretty. One other thing that I did was I decluttered quite a few things. I only kept my favorite or best things. Another thing that I did was I switched out a lot of my wooden hangers for these velvet hangers. Now I actually just got these from dollar store. They were not expensive. I wanted all the white ones, but they ran out of white. I bought all the white ones, so I had to get pink ones. But the reason that I traded out a lot of the wooden hangers for the velvet ones is because they take up considerably less room, like about 50% of the space. So that way, because otherwise my clothes were like coming out to here and out to here. And I thought, it's not that I have that many clothes, it's that my hangers are taking up a lot of room and making it look like I have a lot more. So by switching out to a skinnier hanger, I was able to free up a lot of space in my closet. So on this side I have dresses. In the back are like dinner dresses, going out dresses. And then I have like summer dresses, vacation dresses, everyday dresses, church dresses, and like winter dresses. I have a couple sweater dresses, things like that. So that's that. And then on this side I have in the very back skirts, and I have cardigans and sweaters and tops here. And some of my sweaters I realized looks really good with certain skirts, and so rather than hang them by themselves, I have actually hung the sweater in front of the skirt that it looks good with, just so that I can remember to pair those things together. I'm getting out of breath from talking so much, so I'm just going to stop for a second, have a drink of coffee. Okay, another thing that I have done, I have majorly downsized my handbag collection. Now there's a lot to it. I'm not going to go into super detail, but this is another area of my life that I have felt the need to let go of things and not put so much emphasis and importance on certain things in my life. Especially with regards to designer bags. I still have a few that I need to sell or get rid of because I just feel these days I don't want to feel flashy. I don't want to feel boastful. I don't put value on expensive designer items. I like certain things that I think are very much my style, and they're very pretty and they're very me, but I almost feel embarrassed to wear designer items, especially to places like church or to my workplace, because I'm going into, either a place of worship or a place where I'm supposed to recognize my own humility and prioritize God's love and God's grace and be thankful and grateful. I'm not supposed to be worshiping, designer items. Like, that's not where I want my reverence to go toward, if that makes sense. And also at work, like when I go to work, I'm caring for sick people. I'm caring for people who are having the hardest times of their lives. A lot of times I'm caring for people who are at the end of their lives. And I just think it's very insensitive for me to walk in with a designer bag. I just don't want to do it anymore. At one point, I didn't really see I just didn't recognize, I didn't see that it was a problem. And now I recognize it and I just don't feel right about it. So I still will wear like nice things. Like for example, I absolutely love this bag. This was a gift from my boyfriend and I absolutely love it. I've gotten so much use out of it and it's beautiful and I still will keep it. And I think it's okay to enjoy luxury things and designer things. I think it's fine to have that as long as you put God first and not those things. And make sure that you have things in the right order. Family and God first. And then you can enjoy the other things as long as you understand that those things are finite and not important. So anyway, that's kind of like where my heart's been going lately. And I have just been loving a lot more antique, humble, no logos, vintage, thrifted, older, things that have like a story to tell, things that were used in a simpler time and just have a different energy about them. There's a big difference between buying an expensive bag from a mall that is just thrives on glorifying money and possessions. The kind of energy that comes with that is so different from buying a bag that belonged to someone's grandmother. It just is different and it makes me feel better. And so these are some of my favorite bags. I've gotten rid of a lot of my clutches and stuff too. But this one here is from Poshmark. This is a vintage clutch. Real metal, real leather, smells like real leather anyway. There's no logos on it. I have no idea who made it, but it's just like a really nice little evening bag. And it's quite, I think it's quite classy and quite pretty, and it literally goes with all of my dresses. And then this one here I got from an antique store, and it's a beaded vintage clutch. And this one actually is from Temu, believe it or not. And I'm going to try not to buy any more from Temu and Shein going forward as much as possible, just because I don't want to support that industry. I'd rather support thrift. But this, I just loved it, and it is such a me purse, and it was only $20. So I'm sort of like prioritizing frugality and also just like humility and just being a little more humble and less boastful, I guess, and just like less emphasis on those kind of things. They just don't mean anything to me anymore. Like I would not keep that bag, that Chanel handbag, were it not a gift from my boyfriend, actually. Same thing with the Louis Vuitton, the brown one. And I'm debating getting rid of some of my other ones. This one here is from Temu as well. It's beautiful. I wouldn't go back and repurchase it just because I would rather buy thrifted, but it is really pretty, and it's such a cute little bag for like going out for dinner. It's such a me bag. Goes with everything. I just think it's adorable. So I like that. And then this one here is also thrifted, actually. So this I got from Poshmark. I think it's real leather. This is a vintage bag. I don't know who makes it, where it came from. There's no logos. It was $100. So it was a little bit more expensive. And it's just a beautiful, very classy bag. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Grace Kelly or something like that. It has kind of an old Hollywood, like Audrey Hepburn feel to it. But it's not expensive at all. And I think it's just so beautiful and I love it. It's a little more colorful, so it doesn't go with everything. But, you know, I truthfully would be happy with like these 4 bags. Like and the one I have downstairs in the closet. I'm trying to go for more like less flashy things as well. Like I don't need, if I am going to have a designer thing, I don't need it to be full of logo. If it is a designer bag, I want it to be, you know, subtle, a little bit more understated. So that's kind of the direction I'm going there. I've also decluttered quite a bit of my shoes and only kept my favorites. And I have found a couple others as well that I love. And I'm not done decluttering my shoes. I think I might declutter 1 or 2 more pairs. But I'm getting pretty good. I'm getting pretty much down to like what I will use and what I really love and what I've gotten a ton of use out of. And just like simplifying and making it easier to choose what I'm going to wear in the day and making sure that everything really speaks to my fashion, my style, and where I'm at. So for example, these here are thrifted. This is a pair of white leather flats from Karl Lagerfeld. Now they are a little rougher shape now, actually, because I got them like 2 months ago and I have just worn the heck out of these shoes. I love them. They are so comfortable, so soft. So I've got a pair of black ballet flats, white ballet flats. I've got gold ones that I really like. These ones I haven't worn yet, so I'm thinking about getting rid of them. I'm not going to go through every single pair of shoes because that would take forever, but just to show you a couple things. These I actually just thrifted from the Salvation Army the other day, and they're just like a denim colored velvet or suede, I guess, suede flat. And these are really pretty because I actually have a lot of blue in my closet. And these will be gorgeous with any of my blue and white ensembles. Like, they'll just be so, so pretty. They also remind me of Cinderella, actually. And I've been watching a lot of Disney movies, and Cinderella is my comfort movie. From the original cartoon, Cinderella is my comfort movie. I love it. And these are a type of shoe she would have worn. And I just really like them. I didn't buy them for that reason, but I just kind of realized it. And then these I got from Salvation Army as well. They're by Aldo. I think I paid like $3 for them, and they're just a kitten heel. And these are the perfect modest heel. They are so lovely. They're so comfortable. You can wear them to church. You can wear them anywhere. They're just so good. And I got rid of my other slightly higher pair that were a tan color that I never wore. I love those shoes. And the thing about secondhand, like, if you can get them in really good condition, awesome. But you do have to expect there probably will be some wear and tear. Like, I'm okay with the fact that there's a bit of a scuff on the heel. It doesn't bother me. And if I wanted to, I could probably get rid of that. But, you know, when you find a good pair of shoes for $3, you don't say no to it. And then I have 2 pairs of sneakers and some boots. And anyway, that's enough about the shoes. I could talk about shoes all day. And then another thing I did was I thrifted the laundry basket here. My old laundry basket was a little bit too big and was taking up a lot of room, and I just wanted to downsize that. And this one is a wicker basket, and I got it for $3 from the Salvation Army. And I'm giving my other one back to the Salvation Army so that they can sell it and make some money. And then this one here, this here is an area rug. I thrifted this from an estate sale in town. It is 100% wool, and I just thought it was so beautiful. But I love this so much, I thought there has to be a place I can put this. And I ended up putting it in the closet, and I just think it is so beautiful. It just kind of adds to the coziness. I love opening up my closet now, and it makes it so much more inviting walking in here and just choosing my perfume and choosing my jewelry for the day and picking out an outfit and picking out a purse. Everything is just, you know, it's so cozy. It's so cozy. The only downside is I can't close the doors with this rug because it is a little thick and the corners curl up. So what I have to do when I close it is I actually just fold the corners in on itself like this for like the nighttime or whatever. And then I can close it just fine. And even that looks fine. Like, that's not the end of the world. Yeah, so I really like it. So that is the closet. The perfumes, I decluttered 1 or 2 perfumes already. I'm thinking I might declutter even more. I'm kind of realizing I have perfumes that I love that speak to me that are more my style and some that don't. And I just also am not wanting to purchase perfumes. And I'm also kind of not putting as much emphasis on perfumes. Like, for a long time, it's a little deeper for me because I used to collect and review perfumes. And for a long time, perfume was like literally all I thought about. It was my entire hobby. It was my entire world. And it was such a source of joy for me. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but again, it's another one of those worldly possessions that cannot fill a void. Like, having more of something is not going to fill a void. And it's also, you know, things like that can spiral into obsessions and shopping addictions and things like that. And I just don't have that constant urge and yearning to be purchasing things like this anymore. So I still love perfume and I still enjoy it, but I use it as an accessory to my life now rather than it being the focus of my whole life like it was when I first started my channel and was reviewing perfumes. So anyways, that's about it for that. If I declutter any in the future, I'll let you guys know. I've got my jewelry here. I have gotten rid of most of my modern watches, including my designer watch that I had. And so these watches are all thrifted or they belonged to my grandmother. So this one here actually, I believe, belonged to my grandmother. This is a vintage Timex, and I don't know if it works anymore. I think it needs a new battery, and it's very dainty and very beautiful, and I try not to wear it because I don't want to break it. This is actually a family heirloom, but it's very pretty, and it fits my wrist perfectly. And then these ones here are all thrifted. So this one here is just a basic, I think this must have been Walmart or something. I'll come into the light so you guys can see better. So this one I think must have been Walmart maybe. It's just like a nice dainty little watch. And you guys, these watches are so pretty and they just fit my wrist perfectly. And they're very understated. They're very very dainty and really, really my style, honestly. Pretty much, you know, if your grandma had it, I want it. Like that's how my style has gone to these days. When you're shopping for thrifted watches and thrifted jewelry, sometimes you will find beautiful things that actually were worth a lot in their day. And that's not why I purchased them. But it's really nice when you find something vintage and or antique and that's your style and you realize it actually had some sort of like earthly value too. So this is a watch. I can't read what it says. Whithauer, maybe. Anyway, on the back of this watch, first of all, isn't it beautiful? It's a little dainty watch. And on the back, you guys, I'm pretty sure it says 10 karat gold filled. It's just gorgeous. And it's just so pretty and so dainty and small. And I love it. And I don't know. I think it needs a new battery. But anyways, I don't usually use my watches to tell time. I wear them as an accessory. So I don't need the battery to be working. I just like a watch, you know. And then this one here, this is a beautiful little watch. I got this from a vintage store, antique store, same place that I got this purse. And this watch it says solar on it, and it has a little green cross. And on the back, it says 14 karat gold. It says Liberty 14 karat gold. And this is a wind up watch. You wind it up and it continues working and telling the time. So you don't need even to change the battery. And it's just beautiful. I love it so much. So I have found a lot of really good vintage jewelry, a lot of thrifted jewelry. I'm not buying I definitely don't want any kind of Ana Luisa sponsorships or anything like that in the future. I'm not buying cheap Amazon things. I'm getting all my jewelry is either thrifted or hand-me-downs from family members. And then I have a lot of thrifted jewelry. And then I have a little gold cross necklace. This is kind of my go-to piece of jewelry almost every day. And then this one here is a little silver cross necklace. And this one has a heart and a little cross and some little I don't know, cubic zirconia or something like that. So if I want silver jewelry, I wear this one. And if I want gold jewelry, I wear that one. All of these necklaces are thrifted. The only necklace that's hanging here that is not thrifted, there's two of them. This one here is from Aldo. I got it a long time ago and it's just a teardrop and I actually just really like it. And also this one here from Tiffany's was a gift from my boyfriend. This is thrifted. I just love it. I love my pearls. And then I've got some thrifted brooches as well too, just for little decorative pieces. And yeah, the only pair of designer shoes I still have is my Louboutins, which are my favorite going out heel for dinners out, nights out with my boyfriend. They were a gift from him. I wouldn't have purchased them on my own. And that's it. Everything else is mid-range or thrifted. So that's the closet. That's enough with that. This whole video pretty much so far has been my closet. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the bedroom real quick. And now that I've closed the closet doors, my voice is echoing. There's not a lot in here, I realize, but I've done a little bit of downsizing / switching up. My boyfriend doesn't like the whole cottagecore, prairie, Little House on the Prairie vibe. He wants me to meet him halfway in terms of decor. So I'm trying really hard to do that and not turn everything into Little House on the Prairie, but I still do love my vintage grandma touches. So the bedding is just simple, basic duvet white. I prefer vintage or used, but it's really hard to find a really nice quilt that is the colors and styles you like that isn't $300. Then I've got an area rug. This bed frame is actually from Amazon a long time ago. It's one of the very first vintage things I ever purchased when I realized I wanted more vintage decor in my house. But yeah, a lot of stuff is thrifted. The pillowcases are thrifted, not the shams, but the pillowcases. I got these from an estate sale and I love them. Violet embroidery. It kind of goes with the bedding a little bit. And I like that it's an off-white. It's more of a cream color. And then this nightstand was thrifted from a secondhand store and I painted it white. And I don't know how old it is, but I really love it. The doilies are thrifted. This lamp, this antique lamp is thrifted and I just love it. It's so pretty. I like the little pop of blue. This clock, as you guys will recall from previous videos, if you watched my channel before, I got from Amazon a long time ago and I just love it. It obviously fits the vibes. And then I've got this carafe for water at night and I love this thing, you guys. This was such a good investment because up until this point, I was always just keeping a glass of water by the bed. And then, of course, dust gets in the cup and bugs can get in the cup if there's any bugs or whatever. And this is just so nice because I just fill it up like every night or every other night. Honestly, I'm not picky about it. And it comes with a little glass, and you can just fill yourself up a glass of water and take your melatonin or whatever. Or I always get a little thirsty at night. I always just find I need a drink before I go to sleep. And it's so nice because it gives you like the perfect size of water. And the other thing I thought was like, oh, it'll be really messy. Like when I go to put this back up here, won't the droplets come down the side of the carafe? And actually they don't. They just kind of hang out at the top, but they don't run down the glass. So it's very like ingeniously made. Like the way that they engineer these things was quite smart because it doesn't like make a mess of your table or anything. Yeah, so that's that side of the bed. And then coming around here, so we have a antique inspired mirror in the corner, which was another one of the antique things I bought last year that I love. Now, hindsight again, I would just keep my eyes open for a thrifted one. I just have a thrifted silk or satin like kind of nightgown thing on the back of the door. I do have another thrifted one that's very grandma. It's a velour pink house coat with a zipper, and it looks like something your grandma would have worn, and it is so cozy. It's in my drawer here. I'll actually see if I can. This one. It's so comfortable. I just love it. I'm also thrifting a lot of pajamas, by the way. These are thrifted. This is thrifted. This is thrifted. This is thrifted. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of thrifted clothing as well. And that brings me to the dresser. So everything on the dresser is not thrifted, unfortunately, but they're things I've had for a long time or I got before I started secondhand shopping. And then the picture on the wall, the little, I think it's called Petty Point, is thrifted from Facebook Marketplace. I got it for $10 and it is so beautiful. I have realized I really love Petty Point. It's one of my favorite types of designs, tapestry inspired kind of things. I really like that. And the colors were perfect for my bedroom. It's just so cute. Then this table, unfortunately, is from Temu. Again, I got this before I really got into thrifting. In hindsight, I would not have purchased it. I would have just got another secondhand, like the one in that corner, and I would have just painted it. But this is really pretty, and it does have the style that I like. These two things here are thrifted, though. The doily is thrifted, and this lamp is thrifted. I got this for $4, you guys, from a secondhand store. And it's just so cute. Yeah, I love it. I love this milk glass is what they call it. The milk glass is so pretty. And then I have thrifted lace curtains. Oops, you can't even see that. Thrifted lace curtains. And the thing about lace is lace just adds this vintage farmhouse feel. And if you look at any videos of like old abandoned farmhouses, a lot of them have lace curtains sort of tattered and broken and blowing in the wind, literally, and they're just so beautiful. And then I have this dresser, which I thrifted for $40 from Facebook Marketplace. I haven't done anything to it. It has a little bit of water damage in places, like right here you can see there's a little bit of paint missing. It's kind of cracked. There's a little bit of like water damage on the top. And I actually don't mind that because it gives it this very rustic vintage look. People will refurbish furniture or like repaint furniture, and then they'll specifically go in and rough it up to give it that used. They will try to make it look distressed. Well, guess what? This one actually is distressed and it's perfect, and I wouldn't change it. I really, really like it. It's got the original knobs or drawer pulls, I should say. And it's kind of like this off-white cream color, and I just absolutely love it. And then the candlestick holder here, the crystal one, is thrifted from the MCC thrift shop. Candle is from Walmart, although now I am also keeping my eyes out for secondhand candles because there's a lot of partially burned candles. And a lot of people, like myself included, I would never think to donate partially burned candles because I'm like, who wants my partially burned candle? Like that seems so petty and like almost insulting to give somebody a partially burned candle. But actually, what's wrong with them? You know, they still work perfectly fine. There's still a lot of hours left. And then a doily is thrifted. And this is a little thrifted crystal container in the shape of a heart, and this is where I keep my earrings. And so obviously I really like pearls, but everything in here is thrifted except for my diamond earrings that were a gift from my boyfriend. But all the other earrings you see in here are from secondhand stores. People donate pearl earrings all the time, like different colors, different shapes, and they're my favorite. So yeah, little stud earrings are my favorite. I don't like hoops. I don't like dangly things so much. I really like my studs, or my like little studs. Then I have my makeup case here, which I kind of was thinking, oh, this is a little like too flashy or something too. Like, do I really need a Louis Vuitton makeup case? And then I was like, you know what? This has served me well. I have used this for years. It's still in such good condition. It is a little worse for wear, but it's still overall such good condition. And it's, I think it's okay to have one or two things that are a little bit pricier, provided you love them and use them and you're using them for the right purposes, and not just to be like showing the world like, hey, look how great I am. I have everything designer, But I really love this makeup bag. And so I just keep my like daily makeup in there. And then the rest of my makeup is in here. And also like backups of things or spare things, all my lip liners. I've decluttered a lot of my lipsticks. I've decluttered most of my foundations. I only have 2 foundations left. And I kept only my favorite lipsticks. And this lipstick organizer that's in there, it's hard to see, but it's actually thrifted as well. I found that at, I think, Value Village for like $1. Also from the thrift store. They're just little crystal containers. Never skip the crystal section of your thrift store, you guys, because they might look like old gaudy things that nobody wants, but they are so handy. Like, the ways that you can use crystal in your house is unreal. Like, you can find so many uses for them. And so I've used crystal to organize my entire top drawer of my makeup. And then in here I have just a couple like casual sweaters. And again, thrifted, not thrifted, not thrifted, not thrifted. And that one's empty. And down here, I think I have just some spare curtains and pillowcases and bedding that is also thrifted. You guys might think this is a little weird, but I want to share this with you because it is something that has actually been amazing for me to switch over to, and that is Wonder Bra undergarments. And this is not a sponsored video. Hello, Wonder Bra, though. If you want me to sponsor me, I will accept that. But I have decided to switch over to Wonder Bra undergarments. It started out with, again, my kind of love for vintage things and I was looking for vintage nightwear and stuff like that. And then I noticed on Poshmark, a lot of people are selling vintage Wonder Bras and stuff like that. And of course, these days, everyone's all about Victoria's Secret, La Senza, like Skims and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what about Wonder Bra? Like, I kind of liked the vintage look of some of them. And so this might be a little TMI, but I don't care. I'm going to share it anyway because it's been game changing for me. And I like to share things that I think will, help other people. And so I actually purchased a secondhand, I don't know if this is Wonder Bra, but I purchased this secondhand from Salvation Army. And then these two are actual Wonder bras that I got from Amazon. And first of all, they're very well made. They're very comfortable. They're very pretty, very feminine, and they definitely scream vintage. And so I will not be purchasing any more modern like Skims or La Senza, Victoria's Secret, that type of underwear, because Wonder Bra is affordable, it's well made, and it's comfortable. And it says grandma, and just to be funny and throw in a little joke here, people should not knock like vintage underwear, because there was a meme that was going around and it was so funny, and it was showing women in like these long vintage like grandma-esque nightgowns, and it said something along the lines of, these were the nightgowns that had grandpa making babies and paying the bills or something like that. And I just thought it was so funny. And anyways, you guys, okay, these definitely scream grandma. Okay, these are Wonder Bra panties, like Wonder Bra underwear. They have tummy control. They are, at first when I put it on, I felt like I was wearing a like bandage or something. Like it was kind of too tight, and it felt restrictive, and it felt kind of uncomfortable. One thing I've learned with like modern underwear, especially like Victoria's Secret, and Victoria's Secret's even getting worse in quality over the years, but one thing I've realized is that they stretch out so easily. They do not hold their shape. They wear out. They do not like kind of mold and hold and suck everything in. These are almost like an underwear mixed with shapewear in a sense, although that's not why I got them. But they are so comfortable. They just like hold everything. They suck everything in. They form to your body. They wash well. They're a little bit tight when you first get them, but then they do stretch out. And with each wash, I notice they get softer. They get more comfortable. They fit your body better. I wear a size small. And I got just like 3 pairs of tan ones and 3 pairs of white. Not only that, you guys, but because I really like the 50s silhouette. If you look at like 50s bathing suits compared to today's bathing suits, 50s bathing suits were like, let's be modest, let's go swimming, but let's keep covered up. You know, these days, it's almost like, let's see how little material we can get away with while still being legal. There's something to be said for the modesty and the beauty and the femininity of older garments. And I feel so beautiful in these underwear. Like it's a beautiful thing to be modest and conservative and feminine. It is a beautiful thing. And also like, because they're almost like shapewear, they actually emphasize the feminine curves, but while still being very modest. So they're such a lovely undergarment. Like they emphasize your waist and your hips, but yet you're still covered and you're still like modest. It's just, they're beautiful. I can't say enough good things about them. I just had to share it because it's been game changing for me and I will not purchase any other underwear. I just wanted to share these with you guys. So I 10 out of 10 recommend. They're also really affordable. And because they're such good quality and they're so well made and they don't stretch out and they don't lose their shape, yes, they might be like $20 or $25 a pair, but they're going to last you a long time versus buying like 5 for $25 Victoria's Secret that are going to wear out in 6 months and then you're going to have to get more. So now to come to my humble living space. So this is my piano, you guys, and I love this piano. As many of you know, if you've watched my other videos, I started learning how to play piano, and at first I got just a small electric piano, and it was okay. It was working. It was serving the purpose. But I was talking to actually the lady that I purchased a bunch of stuff from her estate sale. And she said, if you ever play a real piano, like an upright, proper, non-electric piano, she said, the electric piano you will not want to play it anymore. And I sat down at work and played one of their pianos there. And I was like, wow, she was right. Like an electric piano pales in comparison to a proper upright piano. So I started my search for an upright piano, and this one sort of fell into my lap. It was only $100 and I got it moved into my house. Very heavy. I cannot move it by myself. Anyways, it came and it was brown, and I painted it this chalk color. It's actually called Chiffon Cream from Rust-Oleum, and Rust-Oleum chalk paint is really good because you don't have to prime anything before you use it. And so anyway, I painted the whole thing. It took me about 3 days, and I love the color because the color is sort of like, it's white, but it's an off-white. It's like an antique white. So if anybody is looking for a great antique paint and you want something low maintenance that's really easy, I recommend the Rust-Oleum chalk paint. So that's the piano. And then it came with the piano bench, and on the piano here, these came with it. Like the people who were using it before had these keys here, these key markers. And then I bought these just because I'm still so new and I'm trying to get used to and learn how to play properly. And it does sound very beautiful. Yeah, it's really pretty. And then I've got my little book here. This is just a basic, like, easy beginner's version of piano songs. And then to show you what it looked like, it isn't perfect, for example, like for one thing, like this little knob here is missing over here to put this thing down. And I didn't paint the cover, but just to show you like the color that it looked like. This is the color that it was. It was like this rich mahogany, which I actually don't mind even how that looks, just having it like that, because it kind of breaks up the white. My mom said the same thing. She was like, I wouldn't even paint that, like just leave it as it is. So that's the color. Very pretty, actually. I actually really like it. I might just leave that down for now. And then where do I begin? On the top of the piano, I decorated it with some of my books because getting this large piano, I no longer had room for my big bookshelf that was here. And I was thinking at first when I got this piano, I was like, oh my gosh, this was a mistake. It's way too big. Now I can't fit anything else in my living room. But after I painted it, it really just brought the whole thing together. And I like the idea that a piano is a focal point in a home because I think it's a beautiful thing. And I love the idea, first of all, like we got rid of our TV and replaced the TV with books and a piano. And I love the idea that like in the evening, you can sit, you can read a book, you can spend time together, you can listen to some music or play some music, you can read a nice book. And then if we want to watch a movie, which we still do sometimes, we can always stream it and watch it on a laptop or something. We don't need a big TV. I honestly I shouldn't use hate, that's a strong word, but I really, really don't like the look of a big TV in a room. And I don't like having a lot of electronics. Like I said, more than anything, I'm trying to go back to more of an analog lifestyle where things do not need to be plugged in. Things do not need to be charged to bring joy and to bring entertainment into your home. And so I really, really love the look of this piano. So on the top, I just selected a few books, some books that are just pretty spines, pretty covers. The books that were darker spines, I just switched them around. So if they had a black spine, I just turned it around. I usually just read one book at a time anyway. I don't need to see the covers of all of them. I can just like find one and read it and then I'll put it back. But I think books are beautiful decor, especially on top of the piano. And then I have some thrifted candle holders. All of the candle holders that you see up there are the crystal ones. There's some frosted and some non-frosted. Those are all thrifted. You can find just some beautiful thrifted things. And you guys, look how beautiful they are on the piano. Like, are you kidding me? You cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong with crystal candle holders. They're just so elegant and pretty and effortless. And you don't need to buy them from Amazon too. These were 50 cents, you guys. Like, I have bought so much stuff in the last couple months that didn't cost me hardly anything because it was so affordable at the thrift store. This is just a single rose that I got that was in a bouquet of flowers, and I just stuck it there because I thought it looked really pretty on the piano. We have some thrifted books and some new books. I would say about 3/4 of these are new and 1/4 are thrifted. I have this little fall sweet fall thing that I got from HomeSense 2 years ago. This lamp, unfortunately, is not thrifted. I got it from Walmart yesterday because I needed a lamp on the back of the piano for a little bit more light in the evening. And in the evening, you guys, sitting here in my little spot, reading my books, when it's cold outside, and like we actually just had our first snow of the season yesterday, you guys. Like, it is chilly. It's -5 out today Celsius. And I'm telling you, when you sit here in the evening and you read your book and you're sipping a cup of tea and the lights are on and you're looking at the piano, it is the most relaxing, beautiful thing. Like, this is exactly how I pictured me spending winter. So it's so, so nice. You just cannot go wrong with warm lighting and candles. And I only use 40-watt bulbs, and they're all the warm bulbs. And then I also have I have a couple doilies that are all thrifted. I have this beautiful vase, which unfortunately is from Temu. I got this earlier this year when I got my bookshelf. You can get these thrifted. They're just hard to find. And you can get them new. But anyway, that's beautiful. These flowers are from the drugstore, the local drugstore. This picture is not thrifted. That one is from Amazon. I got it like a year and a bit ago. This is a thrifted candle holder, and this is just a really pretty thrifted vase that, again, just looks beautiful. You can't go wrong with thrifted crystal vases, you guys. They just look beautiful. And you can use this as a candle holder if you want as well. Isn't that pretty? Like, there's so many ways to use these things. This is a thrifted candlestick too. So that's the piano. I absolutely love it. Beside the piano, I have a little antique chair. And this one I got from the Salvation Army for $35, I believe. And it's just a wooden chair. And I don't want to paint it or anything. I love the charm that the old wooden chairs bring to a home. And there's something about sitting in a vintage chair like this, an old vintage wooden chair. Something about it feels so, I don't know, like cozy, nostalgic, inviting, simple. If you've never sat in one of these chairs, you guys, go to your local thrift store and get yourself an antique chair like this. Not only that, but they just make such beautiful like decor. And then I decided to just decorate it with some books and some flowers. So I have on here a women's devotional book. I have 2 other books. I've got The Enchanted April and Persuasion by Jane Austen. And then I have a thrifted vase. This was from Salvation Army. And then some faux roses. Like, decorate with thrifted things and find creative way to use thrifted things. Like, for example, this is an old like wash pitcher. Like women would have used a pitcher and a basin to wash themselves up back in the day, and they had like a washing table and stuff like that. This is really beautiful. I love like kind of the off cream color, and I just used it as a flower vase, and it's so perfect. It's so pretty. It's like just a creative, pretty way to utilize things like that in the home and have them be purposeful and not just like randomly sitting around. You could use that as a utensil holder. Actually, I was using it as a utensil holder for a while, and then I decided just to put it here, and I think it looks really nice. So yeah, it's just perfect. It kind of just adds like this cozy touch. Here we have the couch. A lot of people ask me where my couch is from. It is a sectional. I'm gonna come up here so you guys can see better. It is a sectional, it is large, and it's cream colored. And yes, my dog does go on the couch, but I keep it clean because when he comes in from walks, if it's like winter outside or muddy or anything like that, I always wash his paws off when we get inside. And then also on the couch, I have cushion covers that I got from Amazon, which I just realized this one's backwards. This one's inside out, the zipper's here. I'll fix that. But I got them from Amazon, and they're pretty much the same color as the couch, and it's a lot easier to take those off and wash them than it is to take the covers off of the cushions and wash them. Area rug, unfortunately, is not thrifted. It's from Walmart. Got it a long time ago. The table, also not thrifted. Kind of sad about that. I purchased this table before I really got into thrifting, and there are so many great tables you can find that you could just paint. This one does have like that rustic farmhouse look, which I do like. It's also really good quality, and it is made of real wood. So it is a nice table. And then that's obviously Ivar's dog bed. It's from Amazon, if anyone's wondering. It was really affordable. He loves it. Super comfortable, easy to wash. And then this is my little reading corner. And I don't have any pictures on the wall, again, because I couldn't decide on a picture. I don't want to just put a picture up on the wall for the sake of having a picture. It has to be the right picture. And I kind of also like having it a little bit airy and kind of clean and open in that corner. I do think it needs a little something, but I don't know what that is yet, and I don't want to just put any old thing there. So yeah, that is, it keeps going out of focus. That's my little reading corner. This throw rug, this area rug, I got from the same lady that I thrifted the area rug in the closet from. And then I've got a thrifted doily, my Bible, which I've been reading a lot lately, another book that I've been reading. I've got a thrifted lamp. This is, again, one of those milk glass lamps that's really pretty. And this is a candle, obviously. And then I've just used a little saucer as a candle holder, candle dish. That's another little tip I have for you to make things look really cute and pretty and like farmhouse vibes or vintage vibes, is finding, again, it's just another way to use thrifted items that are cheap, like they're super affordable, and they just add this like quaint little look, and they're pretty. And then you've got the item that you need. I just think it's so beautiful using a saucer as a candle holder. If you guys are looking for good Bible tabs, I tabbed my entire Bible and I absolutely love it. And then I just use these little annotation tabs and little highlighters. And these are just from Amazon. And this whole experience of reading my Bible and tabbing and annotating and learning the Word of God has been so rewarding for me. And I just love to sit here in the evening and do that, or sit at the table in the morning after breakfast and do that. It's such a nice way to start or end the day. Oh yeah, and then in this corner, I have my little bookshelf. This is what's left of my little bookshelf. I still have the big one, but I'm using it as storage downstairs. And I have a few more books than this, and they're just tucked away. But these are the rest of the books that I wanted to keep kind of like in reach so I could have a little home library. I love having a little home library. And again, what I did to make them more aesthetic is I just turned around the spines of most of the books. Anything that was like brightly colored, orange, purple, black, red, anything like that, I just turned them around. I kept a couple sticking out just for a little bit of variation, and then most of them are turned around. And with my books, my book collection, my feeling is that like if it doesn't bring me coziness, or if I'm not genuinely interested in it, I don't want to read it. Like for a while there, I was actually collecting just for the sake of collecting. Again, it was another one of these things, another one of these kind of almost obsessions in my life where I was like, oh, I'm going to collect books. I'm going to collect perfumes. I'm going to collect makeup. Like so many little hobbies that I was just kind of obsessively getting involved with. And anyways, I realized I was like, I don't have to read the book just because it's a classic. I don't have to read a book just because everybody else is reading a book. I genuinely want to be interested in it, or I want it to be like, make me feel a certain way, or teach me something, or be helpful in my life, or just be a story that I really love, you know, like a story that I really, really enjoy. Otherwise, I don't want to keep it. And so I've been weeding out books here and there, books that either, if they make me feel a certain way, like if they have a lot of trauma in them, if they are written for shock value, if they're very modern, sort of woke books, things like that, I don't want them. I don't want to read them. And you can tell pretty fast in the first chapter or two of a book if it's going to be something that's going to lift you up or make you feel cozy, or something that you're really interested in, or if it's something that you don't want to read. Like, you can tell pretty quickly, and then I just get rid of them. I donate them. Yeah, so then on here, I just put, again, a doily, a candle, a little picture frame, a little candle holder, and then up here I just have a mirror. That's my little book nook. So let's just start out right here. So this is Ivar's little feeding area. I got his food dish from Amazon a long time ago. These are hard to find secondhand, like really nice dog food dishes. And he needed one that was tall, and I like that it has storage underneath for his food. And the food that we feed him, if anyone's curious, is the Origin or the Akana dog food. He really likes it. And then this is the closet. The garbage is in there, the cat's litter is in there, and our reusable shopping bags for groceries are in there. And I also keep my laptop up there up top when I'm not using it, because I don't like the way the laptop looks sitting out on the table. And then here we have there's the barbecue. And I'm just renting, and this is a condo for anyone who's wondering. So it is not my dream home. It is not my farmhouse homestead, but I'm making the inside feel that way, which is nice. So I have a apron hanging here. It's actually just hanging on a nail. I should get something nicer to hang it on, but that's my little apron, and it just wraps around my waist. This here is an antique. This is a truly antique china cabinet. It's over 100 years old, and it was brown when I got it, and I painted it. And I painted it the color Vanilla Ice Cream by, I want to say, Benjamin Moore. And it's a beautiful, really nice color. It's got this nice sort of like semi-gloss to it. It's very durable, and it's just absolutely stunning. I love the scallop details on the bottom. I love how the legs sort of go out on an angle. I love the wooden knobs. I like that it's so simple and so rustic looking and so farmhouse. It's so pretty. Such a good investment. Down here, I just keep board games and any spare decor, any photos that I'm not sure where to put them, a couple books that I don't have room for on my bookshelf, candles. That's the color of what it was before I painted it. And then underneath here, I keep the kitty's food dish and water dish, and I keep it on a doily because my motto is when in doubt, add a doily, and it just kind of serves as like a placemat for her dish. And I keep her food and drink under here because otherwise the dog will drink all her water. And then up here, I just have a couple things. So I have a little crystal dish that actually comes with my sugar and cream dish, but I just keep it in here. I have some spare doilies. I have some table runners, tablecloths. This is a round tablecloth actually that would look beautiful on the table, but I haven't put it out yet. But anyways, it's beautiful. I got it secondhand, thrifted. And then I have some really pretty boho Bible indexing tabs. They're floral, and they have gold foil writing. Now I have the English Standard Version Bible right now is the one that I'm reading. But I really want to get a King James Version just because I love the old language. I love how it sounds, but for my first time reading the Bible, I wanted to read a version that was more clear and I could understand it better. But I do want to get the King James Version as well, just to have both. And then I will tab it with these Bible tabs once I get it. I have a lot of things. This is going to take a long time if I go through everything, but I'm going to try to do it quickly. So in here I have vintage dishes and like serving plates and gravy dishes and a teapot and stuff like that. And again, what I have done is I have just put doilies to kind of separate them a little bit. So really beautiful. You guys, this was $3. This was $1. This was $1. This was $1. This was $1. This I think I got from HomeSense, unfortunately. And then I've got some vintage teacups, which are so beautiful. I like that these are like off-white with the flowers. You can't go wrong, you guys. Whenever I see things like this, I just love them. This is going to be so nice for serving like a roast or vegetables or potatoes or something. And then same thing here. I've got matching dishes. These were $1 each. So I got this whole set for like $8. And these are just beautiful, you guys. Now, one little tip I will give you if you're trying to romanticize your life, if you're trying to make your life more enjoyable and beautiful and romantic, just make every day special, right? If you want to make every day and every moment special, eat off of beautiful vintage dishes. Like, look at how beautiful these are. Can you imagine a whole table set with those dishes? They're stunning. And they're really good condition. Most of them are in very, very good condition with no chips or cracks. So yeah, that's that. And then on the top, I have another plate that's just on display. And this was thrifted. And I have a thrifted candle holder and candle. I have a little antique oil lamp. I have 2 mason jars, which I'm planning to use the mason jars to keep soup and preserves and stuff. Because I've started making a lot of homemade soup. And then I also have this thrifted basket. And everything in here is thrifted. The basket is thrifted. Isn't it gorgeous? You could even just keep it in the center of the table. And then I've got thrifted napkins, vintage napkins. So those are vintage. These are vintage. These placemats are vintage and thrifted. These are from Poshmark, Poshmark, Poshmark. And these are from Value Village. These doily placemats. So they're beautiful. So that's, again, I'm decorating a part of my home with things I actually use. Like, this is decor, but it's also something that we use. We use everything that's in there. The table is from, I want to say, Wayfair, I think. And my boyfriend actually bought this set for me a year and a half ago. And I really like it. I love the King Louis style chairs. It's very comfortable. And it definitely has that farmhouse chic kind of vibe. Thrifted doily. This is all thrifted. Crystal, candle holder, salt and pepper, sugar and cream. You guys, it is so special in the morning when you sit down for breakfast and have coffee and have cream in a little serving dish like this. It just makes it feel so much more special and so much more beautiful. It's a beautiful moment. I love making little moments of my life that would otherwise be mundane or boring or typical or like obligations. I love making those things more special. Like, I love cream in my coffee. My boyfriend puts cream in his coffee. So when I make us breakfast in the morning, I fill this with a little bit of cream and we serve ourselves our cream, and it's just special. So coming over to this side of the kitchen, this is a antique thrifted secretary desk that I just kind of fell in love with it. And then when I got it, I didn't know how I was going to use it. I didn't know where I was going to put it. I just thought it was beautiful. And then slowly over time, I started to decorate it and fill it up with things that I needed storage for. For example, in here we have Ivar's stuff. We've got pet wipes. We've got his toothbrush and toothpaste. We've got brushes for the cat and the dog. We've got their tags, rabies tags. We've got nail clippers. We got poo bags. So this became like the dog and cat storage area. And then in here, I have like my DVDs, DVD player, more candlesticks, bookmarks, lighters for my candles, things like that. And then on top, I have just some stuff. And so initially when I got this, I had this decorated with actual decor, like flower and candle and picture frame. And then I kind of realized that if I wanted this to have more of a farmhouse feel and a cozy feel, I realized I needed to decorate with things I actually used that made it feel more like a farmhouse kitchen. And so I replaced it with all things we actually use. So here I have a fruit basket. This was thrifted, and I've got some butternut squash and an onion because I'm going to make butternut squash soup. I've got 2 thrifted canisters, one for brown sugar, one for white sugar. I have a candle, and I have a dog treat container. Up above, we have a photo that is not thrifted, unfortunately. The photo frame is from Walmart and the print is from Temu. And I'm going to replace this eventually with something else. But for now, this was, that was something that I got like a couple months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. And in hindsight, I would have thrifted a photo for that area. So that's probably something I'll keep my eyes open for in the future. But that's the secretary desk. Again, I love that it has the wooden knobs. I love the old metal key detail. I don't have the original key for it, but I really like the style. And I didn't want to paint it either because I actually really love the color of this wood. I think it really complements the space and kind of grounds everything so it's not all light or white. And then here I've got a thrifted vase. Oh no, sorry, this isn't thrifted. This is from Safeway, actually. These flowers, Home Sense, I think, thrifted doily. I have a fruit dish. Well, it's a tray that I use as a fruit dish. I got it a long, long time ago, like probably 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and just keep some bananas on there. My dishes in the sink, obviously, they're clean, but they're all thrifted. So all of the dishes that you will see in my cupboard are thrifted now. And I've also started thrifting all of my glasses. This kind of thing reminds me of my grandma because my grandma always had small glasses like this, not the big honkin' ones these days that you see that people have that are, you know, they have excessive serving sizes. So I have my coffee maker, which is a Keurig, Smeg toaster, Smeg tea kettle. Those were gifts from my boyfriend. I wanted them specifically in the cream color. So they match and they also have an antique feel. I've got a bread box, which actually came from Amazon and I painted it. I'm kind of keeping my eyes open for a bread box, but bread boxes are not something I come across very often in thrift stores. So this one was fine. And I just painted it chalk white as well from Rust-Oleum. Got a thrifted doily. I have a butter container and I do keep butter out. Butter is something that I remember as a child very vividly. My grandma always had a container of butter on the kitchen table because we used butter all the time. And these days, the narrative is that butter is bad for you and you shouldn't have animal fat and you should have stuff that was made in a factory. I do not buy into any of that nonsense. I used to at one point in time. I used to think that animal fat was so bad, and I'm not saying you should eat tons and tons of it and destroy your heart, but I'm saying like a little bit in moderation of actual wholesome food that came from the ground or came from an animal is better for you than the chemical stuff that's produced in a laboratory to make a company money. So I actually just replaced this today, and I always keep salted butter out because salted butter lasts longer than unsalted. I will literally leave this out for the entire week and it does not go bad and it tastes wonderful. And butter just makes everything better. I use it in my baking. I use it on my vegetables. I put it on my biscuits and things like that. I use it every morning at breakfast and it just makes me feel wholesome and wonderful and a little bit like at my grandma's kitchen. And then we've got some, again, decorating with things we actually use, which are vintage thrifted teacups and saucers. This is a thrifted canister and I just keep my flour in here. And I absolutely love the idea, again, of decorating and finding interesting ways and useful ways to use thrifted items that are actually helpful, but they're beautiful. So for example, in here, I actually have a thrifted little teacup and I use this as a measuring cup for my flour. I measured it and this cup holds exactly 1 cup, 250 milliliters of fluid or flour or whatever. So it just looks so beautiful, doesn't it? And it's something I use on a regular basis. And baking is something I have been trying to do more of. I've been trying to become a better cook and bake more things. And I've made a lot of stuff in the last month like that I've never made before. I made pumpkin soup for the first time from scratch. I made a pumpkin or apple pie the other day completely from scratch. Even the crust, everything was homemade. And I've been really enjoying doing that. And so having something like this out on my counter that is useful and helpful, and I want it in easy reach, but it also decorates the kitchen and makes it feel more homey and more cozy. So I just love it. I figured if I can't go to a farmstead or a homestead out on a farm somewhere and have an old prairie house, a white house with a wraparound deck, if I can't have that right now in my life, that's okay. But I will bring that to me. I will bring that into my house. And then here I got these little hooks actually just from dollar store and I hung a couple doilies on them. And then we've got our paper towel holder. We have a 2-tiered rack here that I think is meant to be a fruit dish, but I hold it to keep other things like my recipe cards and my recipe holder, little dishes for when you're measuring out spices and stuff like that for when you're baking. Then I've got some thrifted coffee cups, which are beautiful. Another teacup. Another thrifted coffee cup. Again, I do not need everything to match. That's another little tip I have, is that everything doesn't need to match. As long as it's kind of all the same color scheme, the same kind of vibe, the same sort of idea, they don't have to be matching. And I actually prefer the look of things not matching actually. And then we've got like a little thrifted tea holder. This was from Value Village. And then later that week at a different thrift store, I found the matching milk container. Like, how awesome is that? I just think this is so pretty. And you could use this to hold flowers. You could use this as a utensil holder. That's my little decor there. This was a thrifted little flower pot. And I think it's meant to be a napkin holder, but I use it to keep my recipe cards. So yeah, this mason jar is thrifted with a whole bunch of thrifted utensils. These I've had forever. These are some little wooden measuring spoons that I think I got these from dollar store. So everything doesn't have to be expensive either. And then I have just some cups hanging there for decor. And then I have this little pouch, this little embroidered pouch. I don't really know what I'm using it for. I just thought it looked cute hanging there. And I think I'm going to get another hanger and put it here, another little hook, and put something else there. But I just think it looks so cute having things that you use on a regular basis out as decor. The throw rug in front of the sink is from, I think, Walmart a long time ago. What else? This coffee canister is thrifted. I got it from Salvation Army the other day. Thrifted doily. Up here is like medicine cabinet, obviously pantry and fridge, nothing exciting. Spices, oil, things like that. This is like prescription stuff for my daughter and my boyfriend and my dog, and then like tea and coffee. And then here is the cupboard with our dishes. And again, so we've got some wine glasses on the top, and almost all of them are thrifted. I prefer having like wine from things like this, like a vintage glass. We do like to have wine once in a while. We're not big drinkers, but we will have a glass of wine once in a while just to relax if we haven't seen each other in a long time, or something like that, or like special occasion, we'll have like a glass of champagne or something. And so I do like to have things like that. I have 2 champagne glasses in the back. That's my NutriBullet stuff. These are my coffee, what do you call it? Go mugs. These are sadly from Temu, but aren't they cute? I wish I would have thrifted them, but I can't say that I thrifted them. This is another thrifted coffee cup. I still have my 2 H&M coffee cups there that are just because they're so nice and they hold the perfect amount of coffee. But I wanted the ones out on decor to be like the thrifted ones because they're prettier, I think. And then this is all thrifted dishware except for these 2 glasses in the back. These I think I got from Walmart or something, but all the other ones, these are all thrifted cups. And these ones I got, again, they're not all matching. They don't have to be all matching. That's one of the most charming things about thrifted items, is that they don't all have to be matching, but they still look beautiful and they still make you feel like you're in Grandma's kitchen. I specifically remember Grandma had little glasses like this. This was how we drank our milk and our juice, and Grandma would make her own juice, and we would drink choke cherry juice out of these glasses. And I loved it so much. I wanted so many glasses, but you would just get a little bit because you would get a serving size. And like back in the day, people knew how to ration. Grandma and Grandpa lived through World War II. They knew how to ration. They knew the value of things. They understood the value of hard work. They understood how meaningful it was to grow your own food and make your own juices. And a lot of times they had to, because that's just how things were. They didn't have mass-produced things the way they do today, and everything was homegrown. You know, everybody had a garden. It's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but there is a valance on top of my window, and it's a lace one, and I thrifted it. And on this side of the china cabinet, I have just my baking mitts or oven mitts hanging there on a little hook. And I think that they just look so pretty, again, as decor, as something you actually use. And it just adds like a charming touch to the kitchen. So my battery is about to die, you guys, so I'm going to end it here. But I want to show you just how like things don't have to match. You can get things that are mismatched. When I go to thrift stores now, I kind of just like have an eye for what I like. I know sort of what colors, what patterns I like in things, and I just get random mismatched, mix and match things. So these beautiful bowls, for example, these were secondhand from Value Village, very affordable. All of these plates were just $1 each. These plates all have different designs on them, and again, they are not all matching. They do not have to be all matching, and they just look beautiful. Little plates like this, little dinner plates, not dinner plates, sorry, for like dessert or breakfast, and they are not all matching. That's it, you guys. I'm going to end the video here because my battery is dying. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed my little tour of my house and seeing all of my vintage things, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day.